So Kel, I heard you watched The Children of the Corn the other day.
So,
Uh,
boy, you fucking know it. Let me tell. Okay, you want to know something? You want to know
sure.
something? Let me tell you about this fucking movie. Okay, you're not gonna believe this shit. This im- is a fucking travesty, actually, that you did not come to see this with me and my brother because we were the only people in there, and this could have been like the worst thing on our list. And we could have talked about it on the end of the podcast thing. Let me break this monstrosity of a film down for you.
All right.
I don't know if you watched the original Children of the Corn ever.
I did forever ago.
Yes, basically that is the kids plot together, right? And then all at
Yeah.
once they just boom, all of them turn on their parents and kill them.
Yeah.
And then they form a cult out in the corn, and there's like a smoke dragon demon monster thing that's doing that. And that was alright, but it was like the 70s or whatever. This one is not even close to that. It starts with like there's this like orphanage type thing, but they live in like a shed. It's not shit. It's like a 1-story like 3-room house or something, whatever. And there's this the little girl. She's gonna be like the main orphan,
Hmm.
the whole movie, right? And she's playing outside, and then this 16-year-old like guy just walks out of the corn out of nowhere. He's just like, I'm gonna set shit straight or whatever. And then he walks, and then she's like, okay, bye. And he walks into the house, and he starts stabbing the adults, right? So he kills all the adults in the orphanage. So it's just him and the kids in there. And the cops show up. And, okay, Isaac, let me pose you a question. If you were a police officer and there was a rogue teenager
Oh, let me get
killed
into
all the
character.
adults. Yeah, alright, you let me get into grow a mustache real quick and get the shades and eat a donut and have a blue hat, I think. You're a police officer of a
Yes, I am.
small rinky dink
15
town.
years.
You get a call. You go in, there's
Mhm.
a kid, young teenager, who has killed all of the adults in the orphanage, and he's in there with the kids and a weapon.
Mhm.
How would you stop him? How would you subdue him? He's inside, you're outside. How would you stop him?
Kill him.
Well, no, I mean like your method. What would you do?
Oh, I would get a line of sight on him and I would shoot him. Just him.
That's probably a good
Uh,
idea. That's not what they did. That's not what they did. What they
okay,
did,
what did they do?
clearly, obviously the right action. They took a tube and they put the tube in the window of the house, and they pumped the house full of quote unquote cow gas. I don't know.
Like methane?
Maybe I don't know what that means. All they said is that they pumped it with cow
Like
gas.
they
I
pumped
sup-
the
I
they pumped
think
the
it,
house full of cow farts.
I don't know. They said cow gas. My best guess is like some kind of like cow tranquilizer to make the cows fall asleep. So he would like
Okay.
fall. They would like knock him out and then go take him.
Wait,
But
there are kids in this place.
yeah, they killed all the kids in the process. All the kids died because of the cow gas, including the other kid.
Well, oh, our job is done here. No
That's what
ramifications
they
of this.
did. That's what they did. They just pumped the orphanage full of cow gas, whatever that means, and they all died, I guess. Anyways, the only one who lived was that little girl that was outside. And they got her in the interrogation room. They're just like, "What happened? Why was he crazy?" And the fucking dumb bitch. I hate this girl. She's like, for reference, she's like 8 or 9 or something. I hate her so much because the guy's like,
Yeah, hating children.
The guy's like
I know
sitting
that
down.
about you.
He's trying to like get her to say whatever, and she's doing like a jigsaw puzzle. It's literally like an 8-piece puzzle, like a monkey could put it together, right?
Yeah.
And she's got one piece left, and she's trying to like put it in the spot, but the piece is upside down, like clearly, like it's an 8-piece puzzle. You have to be blind not to get it. And she's like trying to like bash it in when it's upside down. She's like, the puzzle doesn't work. And the guy just turns it over, and she's like, oh, yeah, there it goes. I'm like, what? Hello? And she says something about the corn. I don't know. And then flash forwards later, you get the main character, which is, I forget her name. It's probably like Bo or something, I think. She's annoying to look at. Her face is really tiny. Do you have a spot? She's the girl in the on. You see her on the posters for the how was it? My Big Fat Greek Wedding 3. She's the blonde girl. It's her.
Oh, okay.
It's her in the movie. Her face is real tiny. And so she's talking about how she doesn't want to be in the town anymore because it's small and stupid, and all the corn is brown and dying and whatever. So she keeps talking about, like, she was a microbiologist or whatever. She keeps talking about how there's all like the molds or whatever like growing on the dead corn, the fungus on there, the corn fungus.
Mm-hmm.
It makes you see things or whatever. That has nothing to do with the movie at all, but she keeps going on about this corn fungus. And then she finds the kids, like these are like the neighborhood kids, I guess. And then it's the annoying, you know, main, I forgot what her name is. So I'll just call her that little bitch, because that's what she is the whole
That
movie.
little bitch.
That's it. I call her that little bitch. So that little bitch, they find she's wearing like a red wig for some reason. She says, "I'm the Red Queen." I'm like, what the hell are you talking about? I don't know. That's like some thing they keep bringing up as Alice. What of it? I don't know. And then she's playing like, they're not even playing. They're up on this like grain silo, and there's like one kid with a stick, and then there's another kid who's like his hands are tied, and he's
That
like
kid's gonna fuck shit up with that stick.
right, no, he's like poking at him. He's like trying to like there's like a fucking mound of hay at the bottom, like dead corn stalks or whatever. And like the kid didn't feed his dog, so his dog died. So they're like, we're gonna play executioner, and we're gonna kill you. But
Hell
they're up
yeah.
on this like 20-foot corn silo or whatever, and they're gonna like push him off into a stack of hay, and then their plan is to
They're gonna.
set
Yeah,
the
that works. That checks out. Assassin's Creed taught
no,
me
but
everything
then
about
no,
that.
but
That
then
works.
they're gonna set the thing on fire afterwards and burn him alive, and they're gonna do that actually, like not pretend, like that's what they're doing. And then they're like the tiny faced girl, she comes up and she's like, whoa, you can't do that because of the corn fungus. It's all the corn is dry. It'll catch on fire. It'll burn everything down. Stupid dummy. Never mind. Like you're gonna actually kill
You're gonna
this
actually
child.
murder this
That was
children.
that was not the concern. That was somehow not the concern. The concern was that everything was gonna erupt into fire because of all the quote unquote corn dust in the air and around them. And they're like, fine, we'll just pretend to set them on fire. Pooh, kicks dirt. So then they're like, so he jumps off, gets in the thing and they're whatever, and they start like jumping on this and kicking this car that's out there, and oh my god, the worst character enters the film. It's like this 18-year-old guy. He's like the only other vaguely adult character in the movie who's on the kids' side ish. And he's got this hoodie up, and he walks out of the corn, sees them messing up the car, and he literally goes, "What the derp are you guys doing?"
They use derp in 2020.
Yeah, she's like kicking the car. And he goes up and he goes, "What the freak, you guys?" Like he's using like mother trucker, then hurt like a butt cheek on a stick. He's like doing that kind of profanity the whole time. He's just like,
Yeah.
"What the derp, you guys? What the freak? Like he's like 18, 19 years old, and he's like got like family abusive shit going on. He's talking about derp and freak, and I'm like, what
Gosh
the hell is
darn
this kid
it.
going on? Gosh dang, you goofy goobers, what have you done? We're getting a little too silly out here. I'm like, what the hell is this man on about? What is he
You little
doing?
silly Billy.
Yeah, so he's saying shit like that. He's supposed to be like a kind of love interest to the main chick or whatever. Yeah. So, anyways, they leave. They talk about whatever. Cut to next scene where they're having the big town hall meeting with a grand total of like maybe 11 people, and then there's like 5 teenagers all stuffed into like one like single person like booth. Yeah, like
Yeah.
like it's like one little area for like one person to stand like on a trial or whatever, but there's like 3 to 5 teenagers all stuffed into that one area. I'm like, why are you all standing there? It doesn't make any sense. And then the girl's dad, he says the best line of the movie that made us lose our absolute shit. So he's talking how the corn is bad because
Corn
of
bad. Yes,
the
I agree.
the corn is bad because it's dying, right? It's brown because the fertilizer that was sent to them didn't work and it killed it instead of growing it, right?
Bad poo poo
And
fertilizer. Yep.
right, so he keeps calling the place that sent them, like the company or whatever who sent them the fertilizer in the first place. He keeps calling it Big Corn. It's
Hell,
like
big
yeah, like
corn.
big government,
Big
big tech,
corn.
big government, big tech,
Big
big pharma. He
corn.
keeps calling it Big Corn. Like it's
Big
the
corn.
Grand Corn. We couldn't stop laughing about Big Corn because that was the
Big
dumbest
corn.
fucking thing he possibly could have said. It's like, and Big Corn sent us the bad fertilizer and ruined our crops. And I'm like, yeah, fuck Big Corn. I can't believe this. So they're gonna do subsidize is what the whole thing is. So the government is going to pay them to not grow corn anymore. Which
Nice.
sounds fine to me, because it's like dead, rotting ass fungus and riddled corn anyways. It's not growing or anything, it's just literally brown and dying. And they're oh my god. And the kids come in, like the orphan girl, like this little bitch, and like all her friends come in, and they're like, don't we get a vote in this? And I'm like, no, you're children.
No, your children.
This is a decision. No, you're children.
Like, what the fuck?
They're like, we should get a vote too. It's our future. I'm like, no, we're running the town. Adults have a bigger grasp on what the thing is. The idea is either stay here and not have money with dying corn, or let the government pay us to not grow corn anymore while we fix our fields. And they're like, no, we don't want the good option. We want to stay here with the dead corn and starve to death, I guess. So the kids want to keep the corn for some reason, and the adults want to get rid of it. Honestly, there's no point in keeping it, really, as far as we know. And so the Bo, the girl, she gets this idea of how to solve the problem. Her master plan: she's gonna find like an Instagram reporter to cut, and she's gonna fly her into the Podunk Corn Town to fucking do a story on how Big Corn screwed them over with the fertilizer, so everyone can get out, and then they're gonna get the story out. I don't know exactly what that's gonna do, but they're gonna get the story out. So she goes to
Gotta get the story of big corn fucking us over with bad fertilizer.
exactly, brilliant. So she's gonna go talk to this little bitch and her kid friends, and they're gonna sort this out, right? She finds them. They're in like a 10-foot by 6-foot rectangle pit in the middle of the cornfield, and they have a pig that they have like slaughtered. Like they slit it from throat to penis, and all the blood pouring out into a bucket. And they're dipping paintbrushes in the pig blood, and they're brushing it on the roots of the corn. And the girl comes up, she comes up, she's like, what the fuck are you doing? And they're like, we must feed the corn. And then she's like, she's like, we must feed the corn. We must feed it blood from the pig next door. And then she's like, okay, anyway, here's my plan. Like, she's not concerned about that at all. She's just like, okay, anyways, you carry on, but listen to what I say. She's completely fine with it. They slaughtered a pig, and they're doing like this weird cult shit. They're painting corn. Well, the corn must be fed. And they're like, okay, anyways, let me tell you about NFTs, basically. She's like that. So she's like, we're gonna have this reporter Instagram lady fly in, and we need you to go pick her up. And I'm like, what? Like, what? You're talking to like a 9-year-old, you're gonna go pick her up. I mean, they have a horse, so my best guess is that they're gonna go pick her up on horseback. So you have like this like 27-year-old.
I gotta ride my horse down to the school and pick up the 9-year-old girl and.
No, not even. The 9-year-old girl is gonna ride down to airport or whatever, and then pick up this 27-year-old woman and then bring her back. So then her master plan is that in the middle of the night, all the teenagers are gonna handcuff their parents and then force them to go to the town hall so they can have like a mock trial about the big corn. And during this, they get there, the two of them, the derp guy and the main girl, they get there, and it's just the derp guy's brother and the little bitch. They're sitting outside, they're like looking on ice cream or whatever. And they're just like, you were supposed to get the lady and get everyone else in town. Where is everybody? And they're just like, yeah, whatever. And then they get up and leave. And then the horse gets up and follows them. But there's like it's a super obvious rope tied to the horse that they don't talk about at all until they open the door and they find out that derp guy's dad is being like hung to death by the horse. I don't know how two literal children overpowered this giant man. I forgot to mention, but like the dad, the horse help. The dad who's currently being hung. He's like abusive or whatever, but he's at the meeting. Like when the kids said we want to vote too, he was literally like, ha ha ha, no, stupid, stinky children, ha ha ha. I'm like, what the hell are you talking about? I mean, they shouldn't vote,
Take it
but
down
like,
a notch, bro.
Right? He's literally like laughing at children, like for fun, maliciously. I'm like, what the hell, man? Like, so far it's unwarranted. I mean, I don't like them either, but you know what I mean? So anyway, so they somehow get the drop on this 300-pound man and hang him by the neck. And then whatever. So then they go to the police station after that, where it is revealed that they did round up all the adults, but they put them in the jail cell. The one jail cell in town. Every adult in town fits in the one jail cell, apparently.
Oh yeah, it was designed that way.
Yeah, and all the kids are there, and they're like the derp guy and the main chick. They're like, "This is bad. We gotta put a stop to this." And the derp guy's like, "I gotta do something." So he gets up and he tries to like rush for the main girl to get the keys or whatever to let him out, and like this other 10-year-old kid with an aluminum bat takes one swing at his face and just obliterates his entire like left side of his face in one swing. In one swing of a metal bat from a 10-year-old, like took out an entire man. He's dead in one swing. I don't believe that at all. So derp guy's out of the movie, unfortunately. It is this point where I've realized that if there was at least one firearm in this entire town, the movie would be over. The movie would not exist if there was at least one gun in the whole town. One gun would
No, all
solve
they
the
got is
problem.
cow gas.
No, but because like all the kids, they're like armed with weapons and shit, but all they have is like they have like a rake and like a sickle for the wheat and baseball bats. I think the worst thing they have is 3 chainsaws, but that's it. They only have 3. I have no idea how they took over the town. So in like poetic justice, I guess the little girl puts on a gas mask and they gas the adults in the jail cell, and then it smash cuts to the pit that they were brushing the blood on the roots from before, and they put the adults in there, and somehow they have access to a bulldozer, and they use the bulldozer
as one always does,
as children do. They use the bulldozer to just dump all the dirt. They push all the dirt on top of the people, and then they kill them all and bury them alive, including the main chick's mother, who she was like sleeping with everyone in town. I guess, so who cares? Like she didn't. Well, not like that, but like she didn't even like her mother. Like they had a bad relationship. She was just like, I don't even want to talk to her. To the point where I forgot where she had a mother up until this point. And for some, it was only like half of them, I guess, because they go back to the police station after that, and the main chick's dad is still there, and like a bunch of other guys, and they gouge out this one dude's eyes for unclear reasons. It's kind of implied that he was molesting little girl, but like there was literally no evidence to suggest that at any other point. She just kind of was just like, yeah, you did take care of me, huh? And they just stabbed him in the eye, and I'm like, okay. And then the rest is a blur, so I'm gonna skip ahead to where the next thing happens is that they
the movie was so bad that you just blacked out a lot of it.
I did kind of zone out. I know her father died. They made him a scarecrow at some point.
Jeez.
I don't know. They just put him up on a stick in the middle of the field, dude. What do you want? I don't know. So then, if the kids like unveil a tarp and it's the reporter lady that was supposed to come in, they took her, and they're like, oh. And then the main chick's got like an idea. She's gonna pretend to be on their side. She's like, let's bring her to the corn. We'll bring her to the corn, right? So they go to this barn. In the barn, it's got all the fertilizer and shit from bad corn. Big corn sent them.
Bad corn.
All the fertilizer's in there. So they put out the lady, and they're just like, watch this. In the original movie, the monster was this big gas cloud that was sometimes represented as a dragon, and I haven't even gotten to the monster yet, dude. In the original movie, it was called.
The fuck, there's a monster?
There's a monster. There's always a monster. What do you mean? So in the original movie, the monster was a gas, he was like a fog, like a smoke dragon demon thing. They called him He Who Walks Behind the Rows, like the rows of corn, like he's walking amongst the rows. In this movie, they just call him He Who Walks, which is pretty much any man with 2 legs can qualify as He Who Walks.
I am He Who Walks.
I am also He Who Walks.
I am even He Who Runs.
I am Spartacus.
Yeah.
So, and they're not gonna get, like, again, I can't reiterate this enough. In the original movie, it was like a smoke demon that was sometimes represented as a dragon, I believe. Okay. In this movie, it's Groot, but made of corn.
Yes.
It's a corn golem.
Corn man.
It's literally corn man. He's just a guy made of corn leaves, and that's it. So he takes the lady and he just grabs her and drags her out into the corn, and he tears her in half. But it was kind of like a little ways away, so they didn't have to actually spend money on the effects for that. So the main chick follows her in there. No, so they were like, we know, the kids were like, we know the main chick is not among us. She's not on our side. So they douse her in lighter fluid or gasoline or whatever, some kind of flammable liquid. And then they're gonna set her on fire. And then literally again she's like, you can't set me on fire. There's the corn mold and all the corn dust and like the fertilizer in here, it would burn everything. So like, fine, we won't burn you because we don't want to burn ourselves. Fine. So she's drenched in the liquid, and they must have, like, I swear to God, they re-drenched her in water between every single shot. Because for the next 5 minutes of the movie, she's consistently dripping wet, no matter how much running around. Yeah, she's like running around like from the barn through the cornfields, and then she gets into the car in the middle of the cornfields that's been leaking gas, and then she drives the car all the way
ever moist.
Yeah, the car is leaking gas. Like first of all, car's been leaking gas since the beginning of the movie, which was like 2 days ago at this point. So she drives the car like through the cornfield, like she's like swerving and like just like driving through corn, right? All higgledy-piggledy such. That'll come into play later. And she gets to a road and she like runs out of gas finally in the middle of this road, and she's still dripping wet, like they just doused her. And the little girl gets in the car, like she appears in the car, like she's some kind of phantom, I guess. And then she's just like, what are we doing? And then she's like, and then the main girl's like, I want to have one last cigarette before I go. She's like, I don't know, do you smoke? And she's like, I do now. She puts a cigarette lighter in the car and gets that lit. It's incredibly obvious what she's doing, so the little girl is so fucking dumb for the 90th time in this movie. And then she brings her around to the other side of the car, and she's got her at not gunpoint, but remember that little like bolt gun from It Chapter 1? Where you have to put it against her head for even to do anything? Like, that's the weapon she has, is the little bolt gun, so I don't know, like, if you're a foot away, she can't really get to you, is my point.
Like, it's literally just like a cartridge of CO2 that you just pull the trigger and it just it just basically drives a nail into their head.
Right,
and then retracts back into the gun. That's all it is.
But that's the weapon that the little girl has. So you're a foot away from her.
Yes, I see.
It's not gonna do anything. So she gets to the other side. She takes a cigarette lighter, and this is supposed to be badass, but it's not. She drives it into the gasoline leaking out of the car, and you see it all start up on fire. So it's the fires are going down, traveling down the trail, and you see this. Remember, I said she was like swerving and like going all bumpy and waggly through she was driving through corn, right? As the fire is traveling down the trail back to where the car was, it's making like straight lines, and then it turns at a perfect right angle like 3 times. And I'm like, that's not possible. Like, how is it? Like it's going in like straight etch-a-sketch lines. I'm like, you did not drive like that. Right, so then it follows from where the car was to where she was dripping, and then it follows her drip trail back to the barn. And the barn starts on fire, and all the fertilizer burns up, and then it burns down. And it explodes, and that somehow perfectly burns down every single piece of corn in the entire town.
Yes.
And then they're like, no, you burned that corn. Right? No, the kids are not dead because the kids like followed her, I guess. I don't know about the other kid. I forget. No, the other kids, they were on the road. So they're on the road. They're fine. So all the cornfields are on fire, and then you see Cornfield Groot, little grass man. He walks out, he's burning alive, and then he just crumbles into ashes. Or no. So, fuck, it's so bad. I can't fucking remember. Either way, whether he collapses into ashes or he takes the girl, the other girl, this little bitch, she walks into the burning cornfields willingly, and then it just fades to black, and then it fades back in, and it's like the next day, the morning, right? And it's the main girl, and she's looking at the cornfields are perfectly and entirely 100% burned down. Holy, like none of them got missed, right? And she's like, she finds like the little girl's like ring or something or whatever, and then she looks up and she sees like this burning, like half alive, like half like Gustavo Fring burn victim version of the girl, and she says, "I told you." Nothing ever dies in the corn, and then a bunch of like cornstalk leaves burst out of her body, and then they just fill up the screen around the girl, and the movie ends.
Jesus Christ! I had
I like how long that silence was.
Because I just had to recover from the fucking stroke you just gave me.
I know.
For explaining this train wreck of a movie.
And you weren't even there. I don't know who's in charge of that movie, but is not someone good. I gotta be wary of who else makes that movie. That movie was very bad. That was probably one of the worst things I've ever seen in theaters. Like the only reason that I enjoyed that time is because my brother was there and we were literally laughing at all the dumb shit the whole movie, and it was just the two of us in the theater, so we could just be as loud as stupid as we want, and then we had a magical time. But goddamn, was that movie a bunch of bullshit? I swear to God.